In this episode, skill acquisition and environmental weapons. If you've played many MMO games, you've probably at some point played a game where you had to level weapon proficiency in order to be able to use the weapon effectively. In many games, if you had little or no weapon experience, the weapon would deal less damage or you would just straight up miss. My personal experience with this sort of mechanic goes all the way back as far as EverQuest. Many of you have probably experienced this in World of Warcraft. Some people enjoyed it and some people just hated it. Either way, it has long since been removed from the game. Regardless of your preferences on the system, I think the way that Guild Wars 2 handles this is going to make you happy. So let's have a look at how Guild Wars 2 handles their weapon system. To understand this better, it's a good idea that you also understand how Guild Wars 2 skill bars function. I've covered this in another video. You can use the on-screen annotation to check it out if you aren't totally familiar with Guild Wars 2 skill bars. In Guild Wars 2, the first time you use a new weapon set, you'll only have the first skill for that weapon set available. You can unlock the other abilities in the weapon set by killing monsters while wielding that weapon. I personally really like this system for a couple of reasons. First of all, by going with this route, there's a better chance that you'll understand each of your weapon abilities as you'll be using them many times before unlocking the next one. This gives you plenty of time to learn what each skill does rather than just launching you into combat without giving you time enough to learn the basics of each weapon's abilities. This is a good balance between a few similar systems in other games. It takes long enough to learn the new weapon skills that you get a good understanding of how to use them, but it doesn't take so long that you'll feel punished or discouraged from using a new weapon type. Environmental weapons are, like their name suggests, environmental weapons. Well, that's nice, Chirp, but what does that even mean? Well, they're basically objects that you can interact with around the Guild Wars 2 world. In a PvE setting, these weapons can be situational, like a bucket of water to put out a fire as an example. In PvP, environmental weapons are used in a number of ways. In both settings, these items will replace your weapon skills with new skills granting a wide range of unique abilities. A couple environmental weapons you might come across during your journeys through Tyria are beer mugs, cattle prods, iron bars, flamethrowers, and many others. There are also environmental weapons which are created by different player professions. Most of these are from the Elementalist, including one of their elite skills, Conjure Fire Greatsword. This ability will summon a Greatsword for the Elementalist and also summon one to a target location which will damage nearby enemy players and also be available for ally players to pick up and wield. Just remember to keep an eye out for environmental weapons in both PvE and PvP as it will make your journey a lot more exciting. Thanks for watching this episode of Learn to Adapt. If you'd like to see more of these episodes as they're released, make sure to subscribe using the button on the top right side of the screen. If you'd like to see some of the previous episodes in the series, you can do so by using the on-screen annotations.